So let's say, what if you had an integral that was the integral of e to the t on the top, and on the bottom we had e to the t plus 1 dt. How would you handle this integral? So we need to find some kind of substitution that simplifies this quite a bit. So we know that e to the t is the indestructible function. We know how to integrate it, but in this form, we don't know what to do because it's totally different than the basic thing. So let's try to start picking substitutions. If we choose the bottom as a substitution for u, if we make this equal to u, then du dt will be e to the t, because the derivative of this is 0, the derivative of this is itself. So hopefully, if we do that, it'll cancel with the e to the t on top. So let's see how it works. U is equal to e to the t plus 1. So then du dt is e to the t, because this is indestructible. So the derivative is itself, the derivative of this is 0. And then dt is equal to 1 over e to the t du. Just moving dt over there, moving this guy over there. So when we stick all this stuff in here, what we get is integral e to the t over u, because now this whole denominator is u, times dt is 1 over e to the t du. So after we did our substitution, and we put everything in here, we see that the e to the t on top cancels with the e to the t on the bottom, which is exactly what we wanted to be left with. And so finally what we're left with is 1 over u du. And we know how to integrate this. So we have successfully not only simplified the integral, but canceled all the extra terms. So we know that the integral of 1 over u is simply natural log of the absolute value of u plus a constant. All right? But we know that natural log of u is defined to be e to the t plus 1, plus a constant like this. Natural log of e to the t plus 1 plus a constant. So again, looking at this, you would not necessarily guess that the answer is going to be a natural log, but when you start doing substitutions, you realize what you'll have left over is going to yield a natural log in your answer. So good questions, good problems. It just boils down to finding the right substitution. If you choose the wrong substitution, you're not going to get the cancellations you need. So e to the 2t over, on the bottom we have a big square root, e to the 2t minus 4 dt. So here we have the same problem. We have, not only do we have exponentials, but it's not e to the t, it's e to the 2t. Now that's ugly by itself. And then we also have the bottom wrapped up in a giant radical, so that makes it even uglier. All right. What we want to do is figure out a substitution that's going to simplify this. Kind of as a first cut, usually when I see radicals, I like to pick u for what's under the radical, because then everything in the radical becomes much, much easier to look at. So if we do u is equal to e to the 2t minus 4, which is basically what's down here under this radical, then du dt would be equal to what? Well, the integral of, the derivative of this is going to be e to the 2t, because it's indestructible, times the derivative of the top, which is 2. That's just the chain rule. So the derivative of this is itself, because it's indestructible, times the derivative of the top, which is 2. The derivative of this is 0. So dt is 1 over 2 times e to the 2t du, like this. Okay, and then we go off and we start plugging this stuff in here, and hopefully we get nice cancellation. So we have e to the 2t over square root of u, because this whole denominator is now u, and here we have 1 over 2e to the 2t du, like this. And so we think we're on the right track because the e to the 2t cancels just like it does here. And so finally what we're going to get, the 1/2, which is a constant, can come outside the integral, and we'll have 1 over square root of u, which can be written as u to the negative 1/2 du. The reason I'm writing it like that is because I need to integrate it, and it's easier for me to visualize what to integrate if I have an exponent. So 1 over square root of u is the same as 1 over u to the 1/2. Bringing it up to the top makes it u to the negative 1/2. So now we can integrate this. So what we'll have is 1/2 over exponent plus 1. So negative 1/2 plus 1 is also going to be 1/2. And then it'd be u to the 1/2 plus a constant. So we have this guy up front divided by exponent plus 1, u to the exponent plus 1. So this looks really nice, actually, because the 1/2 and the 1/2 obviously cancel out, so you have 1 out there. And then finally, the answer is going to be u to the 1/2. U we had defined to be e to the 2t minus 4. It's going to be e to the 2t minus 4, all to the power of 1/2 plus a constant of integration. So that's the answer. E to the 2t minus 4, all raised to the 1/2 power, plus a constant of integration. And that's the final answer. So again, you know, you have to choose the right thing to simplify. If you had not chosen this to be u, let's say you just chose u to be e to the 2t. Let's just pretend for a second, okay? You can work it out yourself. But if we did that, then u would be equal to this, but the derivative would all be exactly the same, because don't forget the derivative of this was 0 anyway. So if we just chose that to be u, then all of this would be the same. So once we stick everything in there, this would be the same as it is in this problem. All of this would be the same as it is in this problem. But if we actually chose u to only be e to the 2t, then this would actually be different down here. It would be square root of u minus 4 if we chose u to be e to the 2t only. So what you would have left here is you would have 1/2, but then you'd be integrating u minus 4 all raised to the negative 1/2 power. And that's something we don't know how to integrate, right? Because we know how to integrate polynomials. We know how to do cancellations and simplify, but getting it down into this form, it's a nice little exponent, basically. U raised to the power of negative 1/2. If it were quantity u minus 4 raised to the negative 1/2, that's something different, right? And that's something that's much, much more difficult to deal with. So you kind of get the intuition after a while that when you have these ugly things under radicals, you probably should try to go ahead and set the whole thing equal to u, so that whenever you get down to this point, this radical part gets simplified to something that you know how to handle. U to the negative 1/2, we know how to handle. U minus 94, all raised to the negative 1/2, we're not sure how to handle, right? So make sure you can understand that. Just try different things. There's not that many things you could try here, but try a few different things, and then eventually you'll kind of converge on that. So make sure you understand how to do these problems. Make sure you can do them all yourself. So go ahead and stop this guy, get a piece of paper out and do them all yourself. And then follow me on to the next section. It'll be our third section, our final section with the integrals of the exponential function, and we'll just get some extra practice dealing with these kinds of things. It's just turning the crank, getting that practice for yourself to be confident in what you're doing. And then we'll move on into the topics after that. Learn anything at mathandscience.com.